Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Wednesday, November 11th, 2015. I'm Donis Wilkinson-Keynes. Premier the Honorable Vance Amory today, November 11th, met with representatives of the St. Kitts Teachers Union and the Nevis Teachers Union. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss the Teachers Union's request to develop and have accepted by the administration a collective bargaining agreement to govern the relationship between the two organizations and the government. Representing the St. Kitts Teachers Union were President Ron Collins, General Secretary Dale Phipps, and the Treasurer and Administrative Director Andrea Brown.
Today actually is part of a process that we have been engaged in, having first met with the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education in St. Kitts, looking at our collective bargaining agreement, a document that is seeking to harmonize and formalize the relationship between both the St. Kitts Teachers Union, the Nevis Teachers Union, and our employers. And in that regard, the Ministry of Education both in St. Kitts and Nevis. And we felt that, well, definitely we've had very fruitful discussions, and we've been able to chart the way forward as to how we will continue the process of seeking to address these areas that are proposed in our document so that we can have a collective bargaining agreement.
The representatives of the Nevis Teachers Union were President Ornette Webb, Treasurer Paulette Pemberton, and General Secretary Felicia Walters.
I would like to endorse the sentiments of Mr. Collins. I would say that we had a fruitful discussion this morning, and these discussions would continue as we'll have a series of meetings.
Premier Amory met with the representatives of the teachers' unions in his capacity as Minister of Education.
I think it's a very worthwhile engagement. I think we discussed some very important matters which affect the relationship, not in a negative way, but just to clarify the way in which the teachers' union representing the teachers of St. Kitts and Nevis would function, and what is expected of them and what they expect of the government. And I believe this morning we were able to discuss in very good, in a good environment, the matters which were of concern. And I think we have, without giving any specifics, we were able to resolve some of the, and clarify some of the areas which needed to be dealt with. And it is the beginning, I think, of an ongoing, what will be an ongoing set of meetings, because we are of the view that there should be and there must be good working relations between the teachers' union representing the teachers and the teachers themselves and the government to make sure we get the best for our children and our education in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Also present at this morning's meeting were Cabinet Secretary Stedmond Truss and Acting Permanent Secretary in Human Resources, Ornette Herbert. Nevisian diplomat Ambassador Dr. Everson Hall is currently in the Federation, and yesterday the Howard University PhD holder met with the students of the Nevis Sixth Form College at the St. Paul's Anglican Church Hall. Dr. Hall, who is St. Kitts and Nevis's permanent representative to the Organization of American States, OAS, encouraged the young persons to work hard to ensure they achieve both their personal and career goals.
For me, it has been hard work at every phase, particularly for the sixth formers. I think it's very important that they get their hands, they read everything that they can get their hands on, so they would have wide exposure to a wide range of disciplines, because I think that's going to be very, very important. But whatever they do, no matter what it is, whether they're sports or whether they're, pursuing a medical degree or whatever it is, I think it's of paramount importance that they put everything into it. Work long hours, and just make sure that they stay on top of their game, so that when an opportunity arises, they'll be ready to pursue that.
Ambassador Hall, who recently took up his diplomatic posting and appears to be enjoying this role, gave us some background about his professional work in the United States.
So I've been actively involved in a number of things. I've worked in several agencies, some at the very highest level. I was the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Policy in the Reagan administration. And also along the way, I headed money and banking at the Congressional Research Service. And that's part of the reason I'm here, because I'm here to talk to the Caribbean Association of Bankers. They'll be meeting in Bass here on the 12th. So that's really the main purpose of my meeting. But I'm always glad to come back to Nevis. And of course, when the invitation occurs, occurred that I'd have an opportunity for talking to the CSS students as well as the sixth form students, I certainly just pounced on it because, these are my folks, these are my roots, and, every day that I wake up, this is what I think about.
Dr. Hall, who is from Bath Village, left Nevis in 1966 and migrated to the United States, where he has had a distinguished academic and professional career.
So I was admitted to Howard University and entered the Department of Economics, where I studied, economics and mathematical economics, if you will. And then went on from there to do graduate school, both at Howard University as well as the University of Maryland. And from there I came back to Howard University and completed the PhD. So I was really the first person to earn a PhD in economics from Howard University, and that's something that I get really excited about because, it's a very important school, and it's a very important part of my professional development.
Dr. Hall maintains a connection to Nevis and believes that the work he is now doing in terms of diplomacy for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis will continue to be beneficial to the people of the country. The Ministry of Agriculture continues to pay special attention to training in agriculture and related fields, so noted Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, when he was the guest on this week's edition of NTV's Eye on Agriculture with host Eric Evelyn.
We want to train as many of our young people, because you and I would be off the stage at some point, and we'll be gone, and we want to ensure that there is continuity in agriculture and Nevis, whereby the necessary training is harnessed and that training is put to good use here on the island of Nevis, so that we can see agriculture move to another level or the higher level and beyond, and ensure that we are able to sustain ourselves. As the challenges come, we are able to tackle those because of the necessary training and the implementation of those training.
Making reference to the fact that students from Nevis are currently pursuing studies in agriculture in Costa Rica, Minister Jeffers spoke of his being invited to visit that country.
We have some students who are attending school there at the Earth University, and I have been asked to come down and pay a visit to some facilities there in Costa Rica. Perhaps we can look at that, Eric, because it is always good to see what other countries are doing, so that you can use some of those experiences and some of those examples and fashion them to suit your environment right here on this small island. So perhaps that is something we have to look at in the near future, in terms of going down, visiting those students and visiting some of the institutions down there to see what is being done, to see what we can gather from what they're doing and what we can use to build agriculture here on the island of Nevis.
According to Evelyn, who is also the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Earth University has expressed commendations of the students from Nevis for their good performance.
I would have spoken to one of the persons here at admissions, and she would have had high praise for our students over there. Of course, we have Devine Smithen and Prince Arundel, who have been there since last year, and now Mr. Leron Webb has now gone to join those students. And of course, next year we'll be sending another student to Earth University. So we want to take this opportunity as well to thank the sponsor for those students. And as I said, we are delighted that our students at Earth University, as they normally do when they go overseas, are doing very well.
According to Minister Jeffers, his ministry is committed to taking agriculture in Nevis to another level.
I believe here in Prospect alone can tell you that we are on our way to making a signature statement out of Prospect in terms of what we're doing. We first of all have to make sure that we're able to feed ourselves here on the island of Nevis, or in the Federation on a whole. And that is the mandate that we have been given as a department and as a ministry. And I believe we have been trying our endeavor best to ensure that the necessary training and the infrastructure is put in place so that we can produce locally, so that we can meet the demands of our local consumers. Because we have to start thinking seriously about ensuring that we can feed ourselves for the immediate and the long-term future of this country.
Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Still to come?
Well, the event is called Oali Fest. It will be from the 27th to the 29th of November.
The details after this break.
Hey, it's your groovy soca monarch king, your boy Speedy, and I'm here with the Inland Revenue Department, and I love my side dish. And guess what? I also love Nevis too. And as a responsible taxpayer, your tax dollars help to build our nation. So I'm here to tell you, pay your taxes on time and be a responsible citizen. And don't get me wrong, it's a serious song. I pay my taxes. Boom!
Welcome back. The Caribbean Tourism Organization CTO and its member countries are currently observing Caribbean Tourism Month as they do each year in November. Communications Officer Sheila James tells us more in this evening's edition of the Ministry of Tourism's News in 60 Seconds.
The main objectives of Caribbean Tourism Month are to raise awareness among people of the Caribbean of the importance of tourism in the Caribbean, to raise profile of the Caribbean tourism in the marketplace, and to attract positive media coverage for and of the Caribbean. This year, Caribbean Tourism Month CTM is being celebrated under one theme: One Sea, One Voice, One Caribbean, placing emphasis on the many attributes that we share as a region. It's an exciting time to share the great attributes of your country. Last year, a record 15 CTO member countries organised events for Caribbean Tourism Month, and this year we anticipate even greater participation as we take the opportunity to raise the profiles of our members and the Caribbean.
In his 2015 Caribbean Tourism Month message, CTO Chairman, the Honorable Richard Seeley, encourages every CTO member country, tourism organization and entity, and everyone who is engaged either directly or indirectly in tourism to organize at least one activity during the month that will help focus attention on the industry. In more local news.
Well, the event is called Oali Fest. It will be from the 27th to the 29th of November. It's a 3-day weekend festival with 4 events over the 3 days.
Timothy Keynes of Tim Keynes and Associates, a newly formed company which will be putting on the first Oali Fest here in Nevis. According to Keynes, Oali Fest is designed to be a celebration of youth, music and culture.
It's slightly different from the Culturama or the Carnival in the sense that we are trying to develop local talent in different areas. So that they can make that jump towards like regional and international acclaim. The
first Oali Fest will kick off with a Kaiso show on Friday, November 27th at the Cicely Guelhall Doris Stevens Netball Complex.
It's going to be a night of comedy in Kaiso. We now will have the more serious type calypso at Carnival and Culturama time, but there's a different arm of the art form, popular in Trinidad and other places where the Calypsonian do pieces of wit, humor and satire, designed to entertain and make people laugh. So that's what we're having on the Friday evening. Saturday we'll be back at the complex from 9 p.m. for the Development Bank of St. Kitts Nevis Oali Fest music concert. This concert again is designed to promote and develop our own talent. In the early evening from 6 at NEPAC we'll be having the Oali Body Physique competition. It's going to be male and female, and it's the sporting segment of the Oali Fest. On Sunday we'll be having what we call the Hot Rods and Beach Bodies car show link-up. It's going to be a car show at Pinnis Beach beginning from 1 p.m.
The 3-day event is being coordinated by Tim Keynes and Associates, the Oali Fest Executive Committee.
Myself is heading up the music concert, the arrangement for that. King Disneyland Scarborough is heading up the Kaiso show. Desiree Parry is heading up the body fitness, and Esbert Myers is assisting with the car show. So that's basically, with 2 other persons, that's basically the executive committee of Oali Fest. The proceeds or the profits will benefit Titans in their efforts for the 2016 season. We do have some athletes who we are hoping to send overseas to train in an effort to make regional and international competition this year. So, well, part of the proceeds would benefit Titans. So it's for a good cause. It's going to be an exciting event. Don't let anyone have to tell you about it. We have something for everyone, we think, in terms of the activities that we're having. So we'd like to invite everybody to come out and support.
Oali Fest is receiving support from title sponsor, the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, SL Hosfors and Company Limited, Lefco Equipment Rentals and Construction Limited, Carib Breweries, Nisbet Plantation Beach Club, Hamilton Beach Villas and Spa, Fit Wellness Center and Bulls Gym. We'll have more on the activities for Oali Fest in tomorrow's newscast. Meantime, the Nevis newscast will be broadcast at 7 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday, November 12th, as at 7:30 p.m. NTV will bring you live coverage of the 25 Most Remarkable Teens Awards ceremony. The awards will be presented by members of Parliament during a special sitting of the National Assembly in the presence of family and friends. The profiles of the young awardees will be read by members of the St. Kitts and Nevis Young Parliamentarian Association and display instances of courage, perseverance, and achievement. The 25 Most Remarkable Teens Awards are given to youth in non-traditional categories, including Courage to Overcome, Scholar Athlete, and Spiritual Commitment, all with an emphasis on volunteerism. 7 divisions are among the 25 Most Remarkable Teens who will be recognized during tomorrow's awards ceremony. That's it for this evening's edition of the Nevis Newscast. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Thank you for viewing. Good night.